After a tumultuous season filled with ups and downs, we left it feeling a lot of promise in many important positions, but even with a potential stud drafted at the top of our draft board, I felt like we were still missing something. And that's where we made one of the biggest franchise-changing moves in this entire rebuild. So stay tuned to find out in Season 2 of the Bears Break the Cycle rebuild. How's everyone doing? Welcome back to the Bears Break the Cycle rebuild. I hope y'all enjoyed episode 1. I definitely did. And first order of business, I think we should go take some stock of our roster right now and kind of recap what we went through last season, what to look at going forward. I'm kind of thinking right now, the free agency, due to my own incompetence, we really didn't get much done at all. I tried to sign Will Mack, which would have been sick to bring him back on that defensive line, but I pressed some wrong buttons. So here we are at 83 overall. You know what? Would say that's pretty par for the course because it feels like the Bears push the wrong buttons all the time during the offseason. So I'm not going to sweat over that one too much. But what we are going to do is actually make some trades and hopefully bolster up this offensive line and defensive line, as we did draft that left tackle Banks, and we drafted that safety that'll sit behind Byard or maybe be a trade, or have Byard be a trade piece and move Malachi Starks up to free safety 1, because that'd be crazy for us. We get a superstar back there on a rookie deal. So I think what I'm going to go do right now is go try and cook up some trades and see what the market looks like. I'll be right back. Also, I forgot to mention, shout out to Cody for the jersey. All right, so I'm going after Cesar Ruiz, as in this simulation, the Saints drafted a right guard, and I don't remember which round, but they have another guy there. So I'm looking to free up that spot for them. I mean, they probably could use it in a different spot, but it's a large position of need for us and not as much of a position of need for them. Add a 5th rounder, so a 3rd, 2 4ths, 2 5ths, or 3 5ths, 2 4ths, and a 3rd for Cesar Ruiz. There we go. All right, so we did end up getting a starting right guard for Caleb, as we did draft that guy in like the 3rd or 4th round or something, but we really needed someone that is good now and can protect him now. There we go. So we got our starting right guard, and that should shore up our O-line a decent bit. So now let's go look for a defensive lineman. I think defensive end, defensive tackle, something to just generate more of a pass rush. That was a really big point of emphasis going into the offseason. First off, though, I think we will sign a guy like A.J. Dillon, the small deal. We do need more of a power back. Roschon Johnson kind of regressed in overall a decent bit. So having A.J. Dillon as a power back behind Swift, no way. All right, 2027 6th. Come on. Trade accepted. There we go. We get our defensive lineman. We get our edge rusher, Josh Allen, to go opposite of Montez Sweat. So let's give this roster a look. All right, looking at the roster here, our offensive line already looks so much better. 80s across the board, all a very young offensive line that could hopefully progress throughout this year. The defense looks a lot better. Still, I think a couple pieces away. Maybe we move Kevin Byard at the deadline, or maybe even now, either a D tackle or an outside linebacker. Yeah, I'll look at some trades, and then we'll get this season going. So we got out of this deal without having to give up any draft stock. We gave Kevin Byard and Elijah Hicks, a young safety, to the Cowboys for Overshown. I think it'll work out for both teams, as they do need a safety in that defense. It's money that'll be coming off the books in a couple years, but then they won't have to go and pay Overshown. So I think it's a good deal for both parties and really helps our defense right now and allows our new rookie to move into that free safety spot. We'll just make this signing for depth. Don't think he's going to play, but just in case an injury happens. All right, so after all those trades, this is what our offense looks like. Our offensive line looks a lot better. The addition of Cesar Ruiz, a lot of high 70s and mid to low 80s across the board. A lot of room to get better, as they're all young. Same skill positions, but Caleb will have a little bit more time to actually get it to those skill positions. Defense is where we saw our huge upgrades. So we got Josh Hines-Allen in the trade with the Jaguars, DeMarvion Overshown from the Cowboys in that deal with Kevin Byard. that allowed us to slide Malachi Starks into that strong safety spot, and I really hope he could break out. 93 speed, 95 excel, that'll be a great user. I think that's what we'll be using for a user when we do hop into games. I'll go reorder the depth chart a little bit just to make sure everything's in place, and then we could start our simming. All right, so I simmed to week 1. We got player upgrades. Tyler Gordon. Hopefully we could keep him as that slot guy. Nope, man coverage +3. That's really nice. Malachi Starks already getting an upgrade is so nice to see. +2 man, +1 pursuit and tackle. Already up to 300 snaps. So hopefully we could see if that's a superstar. That would be huge. All right, and I want to use these staff points. I'm not totally sure what's best for these, but I do want to go offensive development. Let's sim through week 1. And quickly before we do that, I'm going to put the challenges up on the screen wrong way, that way. Yeah, so we got our 4,000 yards passing, our touchdown record, our passing record, and all those. Without further ado, let's get right into it and advance through week 1. 38-7. Wow, okay. That's not exactly what I was expecting with these upgrades. That kind of, I'm not going to say that changes a lot, but that changes a lot. All right, in that first matchup, rough start for Caleb. 193 and 1 touchdown, 4 picks. We got to get off to a better start, especially at home. Bears lay a very, very unexpected at this point egg in week 1, but hopefully that's just a catalyst. Hopefully the rest of the season can go a lot better. And how this league is going to work, or this year is going to work simulation-wise, I think I'm going to go through the first half of the season. I wanted to sim through week 1 just to see how the team performed. Obviously a big letdown, but I think we're going to go through mid-season, check where we're at, see if we need to make any mid-season trades, where the team is at, what direction we want to go, and kind of assess where we want to go. And then I'll sim a few more weeks, check back in, check on the team, trying to gauge how much exact gameplay we want in these videos. So let me know in the comments below if you'd like all sim, no sim, little jump ins, highlights, stuff like that. So I'll be back mid-season. Without further ado, let's advance to mid-season. Okay, so we definitely know the direction of the team this year. Starting to feel like it's a little bit of me fumbling the bag here, but 1-6 to start. Definitely not what we wanted to see going into week 8. But let's, I guess, check the stats. Try not to vomit. 10 touchdowns, 13 interceptions for Caleb. Rushing wise, also really bad. 1 rushing touchdown this season so far. Where are we in the season ranks? This is insane. We are near the bottom. We are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to last in offense. Passing, it looks like we are close to the bottom as well. Looks like we just turn the ball over way too much. So what I think we're gonna do is, we don't have a ton of, not necessarily looking to sell. Oh, look, Patriots are 0-6 too, so take that for what it's worth. So what I think we're going to do is sim a few more weeks. I don't know if we want to make any trades. We don't really have much to sell off. So this seems kind of like a developmental year, even though that's what we kind of hoped last year would be, and this would be the bye year. But I mean, if you look at those stats, 32nd, 20th, 30th, 32nd, 21st, clearly still have a lot to work on. We have a young team. We're still developing. And hopefully we can have a better end to the season than the start. I mean, we can't get much worse than this. I don't know if I'll be jumping into any at 1-6, but let's advance a few weeks and I'll be right back. All right, so with the record of 2-6, we did beat the Panthers. We did beat the Commanders last week, which is a huge win. And Caleb got injured, broke his thumb. There are some positives to come out of this season so far. So Malachi Starks, who we had really high hopes for. Yeah, Tyson Bagent starting. Rough. I think only for 1 week though. Malachi Starks is a superstar, which is huge for us. So even though this year seems kind of like a lost season, with all these young pieces developing with really good depth traits, I'm really excited to see what our overall gets to next season. We have a lot of cap space, a lot of guys on small deals. Looking to bring back Tyler Gordon, Brisker, Braxton Jones. Also get TJ Edwards back, bring back Darnell Wright as well. Probably accept Wright's 5th-year option and try and re-sign at least 2 out of these 4 people. I'll do that right now. Okay, so I think next, he seems pretty close to a deal right there. And Brisker wants to come back, it looks like. Another cheap deal, 4 years. We'll do 4 years and then 4.8 kind of in between that mid and high tier. Perfect. We got Brisker back for 4 years. If we could bring back Braxton Jones on a small deal. Okay. Looks like we'll have to re-sign Kyler and Braxton another date, but they seem pretty close. 3 years, $4 million. Perfect. Okay, so we got 2 out of those 3. We're not losing a lot next season. Hopefully we could bring back Kyler. He's a big part of that defense. I'll look into that and update if we do re-sign or if we do lose him in the next coming weeks, but I'll be back next few weeks. Okay, we were able to re-sign Kyler Gordon on a slightly higher deal. Braxton Jones, another guy I want to bring back. $3 million for, we'll see. We might just want to move on, as we do have we do have another offensive lineman in the pipeline, and we could just draft, see if we could get better there. And I think I'm going to leave most of these until the re-signing period and pick up that 5th-year option on Darnell Wright. I'll be back in a couple weeks. All right, we did pull off a huge win over the Cowboys, who were 7-2, I think. So definitely turning a corner this season, maybe too little too late, but some good momentum going into next season. We do have a breakout. Oh, Overshown, the guy we just traded for, 6 tackles and a sack, interception, or forced fumble. I think we'll go with that one, see if he could get a sack. Cool, that'd be massive. Overshown can become a superstar. So I'll be back next week to see if we got that breakout game. Hi guys. So due to my own unfortunate incompetence, I muted my mic by accident recording something else, so I lost all my voice audio for the rest of the video. For the last 9 minutes or so, it'll just be a voiceover. Still going to be an exciting finish, but I just wanted to let you guys know as my face cam's going to change. I'm going to be in a different outfit, and it's going to sound maybe a little bit different. Stay tuned. Still a great finish to year 2. So with that out of the way, let's get right back into it. So we did end up getting that superstar upgrade on Overshown, which is huge, and it'll prove to be going forward throughout the rest of the season. I'm really glad we were able to get that. And here's just a look at me going through the playoff picture. If you'd like to pause, we were 6-7, so not really much to play for here except for pride against the Packers. I went ahead and upgraded a few of our wide receivers and Jalen Johnson, as well as our new rookie Starks, who did get a superstar. So in typical Bears-Packers fashion, it is a 10-13 game in the 4th quarter. Packers, with seemingly very little time left on the clock, tie it up 13-13, and Tyler Scott takes it back up to around the 30-yard line. Caleb in the offense looking to get something going with 19 seconds left. Play action to Swift. Caleb looking right, sees Tutu Atwell down up the sideline, out of bounds, 13 seconds left. Caleb in the offense looking to get into field goal range, hopefully win this game, as he sees DJ Moore quickly on that corner route up the sideline, breaking free, touchdown Bears. Huge game-winning play, huge game-winning catch. What a finish to this game. That was awesome. And we decided to go for 2 because why not? And there we have it. So 21-13 is the final, a great way to end the season. And let's take a look at these stats because Caleb balled out this game. 22 of 35, 325 and 2. Definitely his best game as a Bear so far that we've seen. As we finish off the season, take a look at the playoff bracket. I wanted to also take a look at some of our end of season stats. Caleb Williams, 3,162 yards, 21 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. Not the season we were hoping for, but definitely something to build off of, as I could see being more aggressive. Rushing wise, really not much to show. Probably a big reason why our offense suffered a lot this season. Not a lot on the ground, but hopefully with those offensive linemen developing, we could really get that run game going next season. And in the receiver room, DJ Moore had a nice bounce back season. Only 4 touchdowns, but a nice sophomore season out of Rome, 10 touchdowns. Stuff you like to see. Tutu proving to be a good pickup as well. Komet, a solid season. And defensively, Tremaine Edmonds, top tackler. Our Josh Allen acquisition proving fruitful. 7.5 sacks. Hopefully we could get a little bit more next season from the pass rush, but this is a great start. And interception-wise, it seemed like we had a lot of picks this year. Y'all are going to have to let me know in the comments if this is a lot, because it feels like it. Now time for player awards. Lamar Jackson wins MVP. Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts right behind him. Coach of the Year, John Harbaugh with the Ravens. Lamar offensive, Chris Jones defensive, Cam Ward Rookie of the Year with his duo Restrepo right next to him. Nick, I forget his name, is the Rookie of the Year. Best quarterback, running back, D-line, etc. Mixon continues to dominate in these sims. Amon-Ra winning it for offensive for the NFC. Shedeur Sanders winning offensive rookie of the year. Genty winning or getting in second place, offensive rookie of the year. Jalen Hurts, best QB. Dexter Lawrence, not too unfamiliar up there. So, end of season stats, we got Pat Mahomes and Shedeur Sanders. 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, 24 interceptions is crazy as a rookie. So shout out to him. And as I'm poking around the menu, you'll see that there's no Lamar to be found. He doesn't even seem to be in the top 10-ish, 15 in passing. So, some ridiculous seasons though. 41, a lot of good quarterback play. But Lamar's all the way down there. But with 28-9, really solid season passing. But with Mahomes getting 46-6, I was not expecting Lamar to steal that MVP. But with 24 rushing touchdowns, yeah, 24, there's no question that Lamar's MVP. The most in a season rushing is Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts last year, both with 15. So 24 is just utterly ridiculous. So one last look at the end of season stats here. Mahomes with an absolutely crazy season. I wanted to also show the playoff picture, how it turns out. So it was Ravens-Eagles at the end of the day. A lot of dark horses with that 5-6 matchup, but 1-2 on the AFC side. But Lamar finally getting the better of Pat Mahomes and getting to the Super Bowl where the Eagles do take the Ravens down. Jalen Carter, maybe should have been Bear, winning Super Bowl MVP, which is crazy to see, so shout out to him. Now again to free agency, etc. We re-signed Darnell Wright on that 5th-year option, Braxton Jones as well, just more O-line depth. And as we get into free agency, we signed Aubrey and Owe for next season. Not too much going in free agency as the contracts weren't the best. And in the draft, I did end up trading that first-round pick from the, was it Eagles? And to the Seahawks for a first and a second. We pick up Henry Collins, hidden dev trait. We really needed the depth here at D tackle because that was an area of big weakness. And I think with this pickup, our defense could take a huge step next year. We got Randy Dowling, a depth piece, Jay Waller, a halfback depth piece, a power guy we could bring in as Roshan's regressing. So this is our recap. Henry Collins will be able to play right off the bat. Dowling will be a bit of a project, same with Waller, but he'll be in that third RB spot. But overall, I think a really good draft. Collins could potentially be a stud for us alongside Gervon Dexter. So I'm really excited for how this draft went. Hopefully he could be a superstar. That'd be massive. And here's just a look at our team going into year 3. Our offensive line, 80s plus around the board. Same offensive weapons, definitely some room to grow, but a lot of potential here for an explosive offense going into next season. And defensively, we got huge upgrades with Josh Allen and Overshown getting a superstar. Hopefully Malachi Starks could get that superstar back, and Jalen Johnson can as well. So hopefully that defense could develop even more. So there we have it. There's episode 2 of the Bears Break the Cycle rebuild. I really appreciate you guys watching through those technical difficulties. That'll get ironed out for sure in the next video. I always want to reiterate how much I value your support. It really means the world, and the support over the first 2 videos alone has been absolutely amazing. So I can't thank you guys enough. I absolutely cannot wait for what we have coming in the future. Videos gonna keep coming, keep getting better, but I can't wait. You guys cannot miss it. That'll do it for this episode of the Break the Cycle rebuild. Love y'all. Peace.